Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another quick pick prediction video. In this video, I'll be predicting the full card of fights for UFC Fight Night, Dos Anjos versus Fiziev. And yeah, with this one, it's going to be the quickest full card prediction I have ever done. At least intended to be the quickest one I've ever done. So yeah, let's just get into it and let's get it through with it. So in our first fight, we got in the bantamweight division, Ronnie Lawrence versus Sajid Kakhramonov. So we got the whole the first fight on card usually going to the dog. We got Kakhramonov, who still, even though we saw, a good bit of his game in his last fight, we've seen a good bit of his game against decent fighters, against Umar Nurmagomedov, which he really got dominated, to be honest, in that fight. But seen him some decent competition. And, he's not a guy that just been fighting pillows and like tomato cans. So solid deal. With anyway, decent grappling, decent guillotine, decent chokes. And Ryan Lawrence does leave his neck out there a little bit at times, like to wrestle. But I'm going with Ryan Lawrence here to win by decision. I just feel like I saw Trevor Jones be able to, get some takedowns without the hardest effort, even rocked, just throw a little bit of combination together and been able to score takedowns. And I also see him being able to get held against the cage a lot in that fight, even again after was hurting Trevor Jones. I feel like Ryan Lawrence just has much better footwork. He's faster. He's a much more fleshed out striker than Trevor Jones. And I think he could chain those striking together with his wrestling and be able to score takedowns and also be the wall install and ground install, lay and pray and wall install. Yeah, wall install and lay and pray his way to a decision. I think it's going to be an interesting fight. I think Kakhramonov going to have some good response on some good submission attempts, but Ryan Lawrence is good at scrambling, good at escaping submissions, and he's not like a guy that's just got no gas tank, and once he gets to the mat, like, all he can do is stall. He's a solid grappler all around. I think he can just neutralize the grappling submissions of Kakhramonov, competitive fight. But I think the wrestling, the pace, the volume of Ryan Lawrence gets his hand raised. So in this fight, I got Ronnie Lawrence via decision. Now on to our next fight. We have in the light heavyweight division, Kennedy Nzechukwu versus Carl Robertson. And how I feel about this one. Robertson, I think his biggest downside is size. Kennedy Nzechukwu is definitely the more natural light heavyweight. But all in all, I just feel like Robertson, outside Khalil Roundtree, all his wins and all his losses in UFC have come by submission grapplers. And I don't think Nzechukwu is the more technical striker. I just feel like he just has size, and I feel like that size is going to be too big of an advantage for him. I think Robertson can beat him on the inside, beat him at distance. I think he's faster. I think he has more potential to win, whether it be a knockout or a submission. He has a submission game. He has good elbows. We just seen Kennedy Nzechukwu get knocked out on the feet. I think it's going to be a decision. I think Robertson's going to hurt him a couple of times, probably drop him like once or wobble him like once. But a competitive fight, I feel like he lands some elbows in that clinch. He has good elbows in the clinch. We just seen his last fight with Nzechukwu, he got stopped with some elbows in the clinch. And I feel like he can beat him everywhere. I just feel like Nzechukwu is longer and rangier, but he don't have that pop. He don't have the extra oomph to put no one away. Whereas I feel like Robertson does. And I feel like Robertson is the more technical striker. I feel like he's faster, probably even more physically strong, despite giving up some size, like some natural size. But anyway, I feel like Robertson is gonna be landing damaging shots and be to get his hand raised. So in this fight, I got Carl Robertson via decision. Now to our next fight, we have in the featherweight division, David Onama versus Garrett Arnfield. Yeah, Arnfield. How I see this fight is, they fought before. Onama won a pretty clear decision. It wasn't all that competitive. Arnfield's coming in. I guess he just taking an opportunity to hop in the UFC, fight a man he fought before, hoping he can make some improvements. But what has he really done? He hasn't fought nobody impressive or done anything all that impressive since. Whereas we have seen Onama, look pretty impressive. Come out impressive win. Like, he came in got no slouch in his debut and looked okay in that fight. And then he went on there for a decent fighter, dropped down in weight and looked like a guy with a lot of talent. Even his debut, he looked like a guy with a lot of talent. And even prior to his debut in the UFC, he showed a guy like a lot of talent, far exceeding what I've seen from Arnfield. I don't feel like Arnfield don't really present anything on the feet for him. I don't really feel like he presents anything on grappling for him. I just feel like Onama is more powerful for him. I feel like, even though he might not be as technical on the ground, I feel like he can control position or just shut it down. On his feet, I just don't feel like Arnfield really has much for him. I see Onama get another win. And yeah, they fought in amateurs. They didn't fight in the pro. They fought in amateurs. But I just see Onama just running right through him, putting him out in the second round. I feel like fill him out in the first round. See, you got a little more new wrinkles in your game, but that's about it. He fills him out first round, touches him up a little bit. Second round, he just puts him out. Find that kill shot, put a combination together, drop him, follow up, TKO. So in this fight, I got David Onama via second round TKO. Now to our next fight, we have in the middleweight division, Cody Brundage versus Gore. And how I feel about this one is, I feel like Brundage, decent fighter, chin's questionable. I feel like he kind of more falls into the one-dimensional category as of right now. I know he's not one-dimensional, but I feel like he falls in that more. Gore has a background in wrestling. Brundage is more of a wrestler, grappler type fighter. But I just seen this one. I feel like Gore should be able to shut down the wrestling and should be able to find him with relative ease on the feet and should be able to make up for that. Well, not make up for it, but at least not, because he ain't going to change any pundits or anybody's view on him. I don't feel this fight going to do, but it's going to at least, get him in the win column and keep him in the UFC. I feel like he's able to stuff the takedown and be defined Brundage relatively early in the fight. I'm not going to say it's going to be early in the first round, but I feel like he's going to be within the first round. Be able to stuff the takedowns, find him, and put him out first round. So in this fight, I got Petrosian Gore via first round TKO. Now to our next fight, we have in the women's flyweight division, Antonina Schefchenko versus Courtney Casey. Going with the favorite here in Schefchenko, which is probably the dumbest pick on the night, because you're going with a favorite who don't deserve to be a favorite ever, really. Because anytime the fight goes to the ground, in most cases, do it 90% of the time outside of that Ariane Lispy fight, she turned into straight butter. But going with Courtney Casey doesn't really have a history of really taking too many people down. She probably got like 2 takedowns over like 10, 12 fights. But I said the same thing about Caitlin Chukagian, and then she went out there to put a grappling clinic on Schefchenko, and then really started to add that wrinkle into her game where she at first didn't really dabble in it too much. So stuff is subject to change always, but I just feel like it's gonna be a close fight no matter how you play it, or at least up until a potential finish. I feel like if Courtney Casey ends up on top on the ground in some way, the fight can end in a very quick submission. But yeah, like in a very quick submission. But I feel like it's going to play out into like a decision victory. I feel either way, close fight, decision victory. Shevchenko just has that wealth of experience, and wealth of skill, and wealth of accomplishments in striking. And I feel like Courtney Casey is going to play too much in that. And she's going to be a step or two behind. Close fight. Probably going to try mixing the clinch when she's not getting her way on the feet. Probably try to go for some takedowns. Not had the most success she wants. But still, like I said, make it competitive, make it very close, a very, very close fight. I feel like Shevchenko will even look for some submissions, or at least not submissions, but takedowns at the time. Just knowing that Courtney Casey doesn't have the best takedown defense at that time. Like, I saw some improvement in her last fight, but again, lowest confident pick on the card. I'm going with Antonina Shevchenko in a striking matchup, or a mostly striking matchup, to use her striking prowess to beat Courtney Casey to a decision. So in this fight, I got Antonina Shevchenko via decision. Now to our next fight, we have in the bantamweight division, Ayman Zahabi versus Ricky Turcios. And how I feel about this one is, Zahabi, I feel, is a much more technical fighter overall. I feel like his wrestling can use a little bit to be desired. His grappling can use a little bit to be desired, or a lot of bit in both those cases. I'm not saying it's bad, but as far as efficiency, effectiveness, and danger is kind of lacking. But I feel like he definitely, striking-wise, Turcios, I only feel like Turcios is just a guy that is a heart fighter, I would say. I don't feel like he has all that much. He's not all that technical. Like, his grappling looks like he has some technical edges to it. Striking is like he just throwing hands and just throwing out there and just putting a volume. That's just my honest assessment of it. But Zahabi, I see a guy that can, is susceptible to being outworked. And I think that's what's going to happen. I feel like Turcios is going to just bring the fight to him. Yes, you could be a little bit more technical than him, or less you could be a lot more technical than him. But where's the real danger factor? And Turcios is a dog. He got that's going to go out there. He's going to push the pace on him. And just outwork Zahabi. Whether like him getting the best positions or just the easiest path to victory, it's not going to be that. It's probably be a scrap for every single thing in the fight. And just by Zahabi being that type of fight, he's going to have to be scrapping for everything he in the fight. Like, he might be more technical, used to being able to sit back and just land clean strikes and stuff and fight at a measured pace. But when you start fighting a guy like Turcios, unless you just that guy that has that stopping power or that skill that you just so far exceed him, you could just not even play his game, or you that slick, which Zahabi's not, you're going to end up playing this dog fight. And Turcios is going to win just about every single time, especially you're not really a guy that's ever going to turn your pace up. I feel like Zahabi almost only had like really 1 or 2 gears. He don't really have that many gears. And it's like a guy that's going to go out and just throw caution to the wind and throw 1,000 punches. He's not going to be that guy. Which Turcios is, he can go for a lot of takedowns. He's going to attempt things. He's going to make a risk. Well, I said make a risk. He's going to take a risk, and he's going to turn it up. That's simply it's going to be a case where Turcios just going to outwork him and beat him to a decision. That's what I see. So in this fight, I got Ricky Turcios via decision. Now to our next fight, we have in the lightweight division, our first fight on the main card, Michael Johnson versus Jamie Mularkey. And how I feel about this one is, Michael Johnson has choked time and time again. And I hope he wins. I want him to win, but I'm going to have to go with Mularkey here. Like, I really hope Michael Johnson. I hope he goes on like a 4 or 5 fight winning streak, gets a rematch against Dustin Poirier, knocks him out again, retires Dustin Poirier, and then yeah, I mean eventually he's gonna run to somebody he's gonna lose to. Like that's very wishful thinking, but at least maybe even get a title shot off some crazy career turnaround. But hey, he might even be able to win the belt. Matter of fact, like if he get a chance against Charles Oliveira, he's the type of guy that will lose to like what's his name, little twerking dude in the lightweight division right now, but would beat Charles Oliveira. Like he would be the same guy that would do that. So hey, the sky's the limit. And I wouldn't like to say I wouldn't be mad at it. I would like that for Michael Johnson. I would probably be rooting for him, to be honest, man. Rooting for him to go as far as he can in the sport, get a belt, make some money. But picking wise, prediction wise, I'm gonna to go with Malarkey here. I feel like Malarkey's tough enough. We kind of, well, not me, but a lot of people overlooking Malarkey now. He's still the favorite, but people overlooking him because of what Jalen Turner did to him. But Jalen Turner's a beast, and he's on the upcoming, big, skilled, and he's really putting striking together and blending his submission. And, overall, it's really starting to blossom right now. That's a different thing. Whereas Michael Johnson, the fighter that had a lot of, he still has a lot of talent, but he's kind of on the way out. You got Jalen Turner on the way up. So it's stocks. It's stocks right there. But anyway, with Michael Johnson versus Malarkey, I feel like Johnson can look pretty flashy early, but I feel like Malarkey is going to break him down with his pressure and his pace. Whether he be able to crack with some shots early and get him to the ground, or be able to eventually work and pressure him and get him to cover up top with some overhands or something, then blast through his legs and drag him to the mat. I feel like he's going to start to get him to the mat and really start to wear on him and land some heavy shots and just really start to break Michael Johnson down. Like a breakdown effect, like he gets a takedown in the first round, or a takedown indoor drop in the first round. Some heavy ground and pound, some good control time in that first round, like late probably. The second round, gets an easier takedown, drags him to the mat, just lands some vicious ground and pound, gets Michael Johnson to cough up a submission and taps him out in that second round. So in this fight, I got Jamie Malarkey via second round submission. Now to our next fight, we have in the women's flyweight division, Cynthia Calvillo versus Nina Nunes. And how I feel about this one is, Nina Nunes, I don't know where her motivation is. I don't know if they adopted a kid or whatever the case may be. I don't know if they had like a surrogate or something. I don't know what the case was. But I feel like she was pregnant because she was out for a time. Like, I guess she was artificially inseminated or had someone else put their sperm in her or something. But yeah, she didn't come back the same. She got taken down by literally the woman with the worst takedown offense in the game right now. Probably the worst takedown offense in all of MMA, well, all of the UFC right now. Probably. It's definitely ranks up there. And I'm forgetting her name right now. I don't know how. Mackenzie Dern, who got like a 12 or 10% takedown accuracy which is very disgustingly low for a person that really only good skill is their grappling. So yeah, she got taken down by one of the worst offensive takedown fighters, or one of the fighters with the worst offensive takedowns in Mackenzie Dern. And then tapped out. I think that was her last fight, and that was like 2020 or 2021. Hasn't fought a little minute. And then prior to that, she hadn't fought in a minute. Cynthia Calvillo has been looking like straight dirt right now, but she still has decent wrestling. And going with Nina Nunes, who's lacking edge right now and has lacking activity, I feel like this is a fight, good rebound fight for her. I feel like she'd be able to score takedowns, maybe even be able to get a finish here. But given where she's at, I feel like decision, like, even stretch a little bit. Or, it's a little nice because, I don't know, I'm not saying it for her to make that turnaround necessarily. I'm picking her win. I'm not saying her to make this big turnaround and resurge back into the division. I feel like she kind of on the downtrend and I don't think she's really coming back. She just maintained, but I don't really see her coming back to where she was. But who knows? So I see Cynthia Calvillo being to get takedowns on Nina Nunes, who's not very sharp right now, not very active. Just had a baby, and hadn't rebounded from that. And motivation is definitely lacking. And also seeing her husband, wife not lose a fight, I don't know where her head's at, or is that motivated or demotivating her. But ultimately, I just feel like Nina Nunes takedown defense not look that great in her last fight. I feel like Calvillo should have more than enough wrestling to be able to get her to the mat and should be able to eke out a decision. I feel like it might play out like the Godelia fight or like the Tatiana Suarez fight, like a little bit, like where it's case that she's getting takedowns early, enough to eke the first rounds out. I mean, she lost one of these fights, or maybe both fights. But anyway, eke out a round with her wrestling, some rounds early, but then kind of just had to skate the last half or last round and probably still win like a 30-27 or 29 type fight. But clear enough decision, but Calvillo doing just enough early that she could fade a little bit and still win the fight. So in this fight, I got Cynthia Calvillo via decision. Now to our next fight we have in the heavyweight division, Jared Vanderaa versus Chase Sherman. And how I see this one right here is I'll go on with Jared Vanderaa via decision versus Chase Sherman. I just think Chase Sherman just a big punching bag, and he's proven himself to be the worst heavyweight actively right now, or at least one of the worst heavyweights, or at least credential-wise and actual fleshed out resume in the UFC division, the worst heavyweight. Because these other heavyweights haven't got a chance to make himself the worst heavyweight yet. He has had plenty of time and has shown to be a guy that's just untrustworthy, or at least trustworthy to lose when he's not fighting a bloated middleweight. But anyway, I just feel like Isaac Villanueva, that bloated middleweight who was saying he was 6'9", but he really like 5'7". But anyway, Jared Vanderaa, I just feel like in this one, Jared Vanderaa is a slicker striker, more technical striker. I ain't saying he no phenom or whatever, but he at least shows better skills and had at least beat some actual heavyweights recently. And I feel like he should be able to find Chase Sherman. I feel like he's a more fleshed out grappler. I feel like Chase Sherman is one of those guys that just refuses. I mean, he works on takedown defense, but I feel like he refuses to work on grappling. So I feel like Vanderaa I'll strike him with relative ease on the feet. And then I feel like he also scored takedowns and control the fight there. I feel like Chase Sherman will be tough enough to weather to a decision, but I think another fight where he's just going to use his punching bag. That's what I really see. Another fight where him going to use his punching bag. Vanderaa not really having that finishing touch on him in his skill set, unless he's fighting a complete scrub, which Chase Sherman, almost could put him in that category, but he's not exactly a complete scrub. He's just a guy that is lacking those extra needed skills to thrive. I mean, other division, he would be a scrub for the fact that he don't have no grappling, the fact that you're one-dimensional, you're not even that good at that, you're not even good or decent at that one dimension. But heavyweight, he's actually a decent enough fighter. He just lacking severely. And yeah, but anyway, Vanderaa via decision. I feel like he can beat him on the feet, and I feel like he can beat him on the ground. I feel like striking-wise, he has better offense, and he has better defense. He's more technical. So in this fight, I got Jared Vanderaa via decision. Now to our next fight. We have in the bantamweight division, Said Nurmagomedov versus Douglas Silva de Andrade. And how I feel about this one, I feel like Douglas Silva de Andrade, I don't want to say lucky, but he was losing the fight. He won the fight clear, fair, better man on the night, but he was not winning the majority of the fight. It heavily relied on him landing, connecting, and hurting his opponent, and then from there he took over. It wasn't the case he just fought competitively with his opponent, he was getting dominated, then he eventually caught his opponent and then turned the course of the fight. So I feel like it's a case where I feel like Said Nurmagomedov should be able to outstrike him if he don't get too wild, but I feel like he should be able to strike him. I feel like he should be able to out-wrestle him, out-grapple him, and just really thoroughly dominate him there in this fight. And I feel like he puts him out. I feel like Said Nurmagomedov's going to go for the star power here, go for not just a decision, but go for a finish here, and should be able to get this finish here. Got to be able to strike him on the feet, use his length, use his reach, use his speed, use his technique. Break Silva de Andrade down, mixing some wrestling as well, and just break him down, of course, his fight. And I feel like he's gonna tap him out late. Well, not late. I'm gonna say third round, but break it down, of course, to 2 rounds and tap him out in the third round. So in this fight, I got Said Nurmagomedov via third round submission. Now to our co-main event, we have in the middleweight division, Barajo. I said Barajo. Well, I can't even say the name. Kyle Barajo versus Armin Petrosian. And how I see this one right here in our co-main event again, as I must say, I feel like Petrosian's a solid fighter, but I feel like he's one-dimensional. I feel like Kyle Barajo is one of those bright prospects, bright contenders coming up right now, who has a full fleshed-out game. Good judge of range. Good judge of range. Got almost karate-style fighting, which could pan against him if Petrosian chooses to be aggressive and you try and point fight and be all pretty with it. And this guy's out there doing more value, being more aggressive, slugging. It lands opportunity, but I feel like it's gonna be more because what Kyle Barajo has shown, you try to come in and slug with him and try to make it a slugfest, and the guy landing clean strikes on you, like being sharp and being technically proficient and defensively sound and aware, good eyes out there. And I feel Petrosian, when he tries to load up and land these big shots, I'm not saying Petrosian's a slouch, but I feel like going there with Barajo, he's going to just naturally start getting more aggressive out there. And I'm not saying all his shots going to be big, but I feel like some shots, he's going to be looking for these big clean counters or looking to get aggressive and start to really push on the front foot and, throw the combination, probably load up on the ending shot or maybe start with a power shot. And I feel like those shots, Barajo will be a slip, make him miss and make him pay, counter with some shots, maybe score some takedowns off those shots, or maybe catch a kick, score some takedowns off those shots. And I just feel like, Barajo beat him into a decision. I see him outstriking him, controlling the pace of the fight, landing clean counters, and landing counter takedowns or reactive takedowns, and putting Petrosian on the mat. Matter of fact, I'm not gonna say decision. I feel like he put the stamp on Petrosian. Petrosian's game, but it's only so many times you can get away with not really improving your game and just being lucky enough to survive these submission exchanges. I feel like Barajo's gonna break him down, demoralize him, then tap him in the second round. Like he gonna be on the mat too much. The fight not gonna be going his way necessarily in any exact category. Competitive fight, but he gonna be in the ground too much, and that's playing with fire, and he gonna get tapped out second round. So in this fight, I got Kyle Barajo via second round TKO, well, second round submission. Kyle Barajo via second round submission. Now to our main event, we have in the lightweight division, Rafael dos Anjos versus Rafael Fiziev. So Rafael dos Anjos versus Rafael Fiziev, RDA versus Rafael Fiziev. I said Fiziev. Let me just stop talking. RDA versus Rafael Fiziev. I was on the fence with this one, but ultimately I'm going to go with the younger fighter in Fiziev. I'm not saying he's the youngest springiest chicken, but he's definitely the younger fighter here. Dos Anjos is pushing 38. I like the fact that he's going back and trying to train, and he's going back to Brazil and training Novo and Yao and all this stuff to an extent, at least for the hunger factor. I don't know if Novo and Yao is necessarily the gym at what used to be right now or at his best, but hey, that's a career decision, and maybe he need to go back to the favelas, like he said, to get his hunger back, brought his whole family with him. But yeah, his words, not mine, not verbatim, but yeah, basically what he was saying. But age catches up to everybody. I know he's hungry right now, but you wait a little bit too late to get hungry, I feel. And Fiziev, I feel, it's definitely X factor with, well, question marks with Fiziev. He is not for the guy at this level. He has not really been in grappling situations or deep in grappling situations. He hasn't been 5 rounds, so it's not like he looks like super exceptional in any of these fights. Like, Brad Vidal, good finish, but it wasn't a very exceptional fight. It was a very close fight that ended with the definitive stoppage. Bobby Green, a fight that easily could have went against him if the judges really saw it like a different way. Like they judged on different standards or saw it a different way. It could have easily went to Bobby Green and wouldn't have been a robbery at all. Matter of fact, I feel Bobby Green really won. I picked Rafael Fiziev, but I feel watching the fight, I felt like Bobby Green won. But anyway, I don't know. So Fiziev ain't been looking super impressive, to be honest. RDA looked impressive against the guy that was tailor-made to beat him in Renato Moicano. So it's a lot of question marks on both sides. But I'm gonna lean to the younger fighter Fiziev. I feel like he's quicker than RDA. He's already a quick fighter. He's going in with RDA, who's not as quick no more, not as sharp no more. And I feel like Fiziev should be able to beat him to the punch. Should be able to beat him with counters. It's the worry about going late, but I feel like he gets RDA out of there in under 3 rounds. And I'm going to say second round. I feel like it's going to be a little bit too fast for RDA. And, probably blasting inside leg kicks to RDA, slamming kicks to the body, stuffing RDA's initial takedowns. And RDA starts to get aggressive once he started. He's not able to find his groove because he's getting beat to the punch all the time. Started getting a little bit aggressive. His hooks started getting a little bit too wide. His shots started getting a little bit too wide. I started seeing him running to the counters of Fiziev. And I feel like that's ultimately what's going to put him away. I feel like Fiziev going to be like doing a little filler inside leg kicks, switching stance, blasting the outside leg kicks. Just corralling RDA in, and then landing clean counters once RDA starts getting over aggressive. And RDA at his age, and even at a younger age, like you get cracked with some clean, heavy counters, you're not gonna respond the best because it's the shots you don't see coming. And from a faster, sharper, younger fighter with heavy hands and speed like that, yeah, I feel like RDA not gonna recover that well. I feel like he might be recovering the first round, and be able to get his wits about him. But walking the same thing again, second round, gets hurt, gets unloaded on, TKO stoppage, Rafael Fiziev, second round. So in this fight, I got Rafael Fiziev via second round TKO. And that concludes my fight predictions for the full card of fights for UFC Fight Night, Dos Anjos versus Fiziev. And as always, thanks for watching.